So Billy obviously is still trying to convince Dawn that it's Joe. I don't know if Billy has actually seen Joe. I know that's what he's saying, but I don't know if he has actually seen him or if he's just saying that because he's trying to do anything to just get Joe out of the picture altogether. And obviously now Billy's trying to protect Dawn and he wants her and the kids to run away with him basically. The Dingles have a right dingle wake for Monty and it's so cute and amazing and I loved it. And also obviously Kyle and Moira got to talk to each other a little bit about the adoption and that was a really cute conversation. I'm so glad that Kyle is becoming happier with his family now and that, yeah, he does want Moira to adopt him. Charity finally standing up to her abuser was so powerful, and the way that she was like explaining exactly how it felt and how it felt like she was 14 again and it was so horrible and everything was just really powerful. But obviously the bad news is that Sarah's walked in and basically Sarah's walked in and overheard Charity saying what happened. So now she's like, oh my god, what do you mean she did this to you? What do you mean? And yeah, Sarah has ended up in the argument and Caitlin was like, and she's away from telling Sarah the truth when Sarah's pushed her and Caitlin's got knocked out. So I'm wondering if this is how Caitlin dies, potentially. Or will she not die now and there's a little bit more to it? Well, guys, it looks like Sarah has killed Dr. Todd. I feel like that flash forward was just to show us that she was going to get killed. But, like, obviously it was just in a random place and it was a little bit random. But obviously it was just to show us she was getting killed. So, yeah, I love the fact that Sarah was the one that killed her. I think that's absolutely perfect. And the biggest surprise is Serena walking in. Serena came to the door and she walks in to see Todd on the floor. But I get the feeling that Serena has been involved with Todd in the past. I just get this feeling that she does not like her somehow or some way. And then Serena, Sarah and Charity all work out what to do and they kind of decide, well, Charity phones the police and tells the police that it was her and her alone, and then they have to decide like what they're going to do, what story they're going to give, and they basically work out that they should tell the police that Charity was the one that did it, but they should say that Sarah was there and she's seen it. So they're basically just going to say that Dr. Todd grabbed Charity. Charity got scared when she grabbed her and she pushed her off, and Serena's helped them make the evidence up by like putting Dr. Todd's fingernails on Charity and everything. So yeah, this is going to get crazy. The police are really quickly poking holes in Sarah's story, so yeah, it's just all gone a bit horribly wrong. But they are keeping Charity for now, so what's going to happen? I mean, is she going to go to trial? Are they going to end up charging her for this? Because she's basically admitted it, hasn't she? Well, it was Kev that hit Billy and hurt Billy. I did not see that one coming. That has obviously been an accident because I don't see how Kev would have done that on purpose, but it does beg the question, what was Kev doing at the depot and how has this happened? And obviously Caleb's known that because of the CCTV and he's tried to help out by obviously Caleb is desperate to say that it was Joe. I knew it wasn't Joe. I knew it wasn't. But obviously Dawn and Billy want to run away with the kids and basically Ruby and Caleb are going to help them do that. So yeah, will Ruby and Caleb get them out of the country? Hopefully, because I do want Dawn to be away from Joe, to be honest. Well, I mean, Joe walked in at the right time, didn't he, when they were all just planning on what they were going to do. But Billy absolutely hated Joe sitting around there, so he's like, yeah, we're leaving, we are out of here. I'm also still wondering when this is going to come out that it's Kev. I mean, it will, but I don't know when or who's going to find it out other than Caleb, who already knows. Kane gets everybody together, obviously, to try and support Charity, but basically, and also Charity, when she comes out for being at the police station, she does tell the family what Dr. Todd did do to her, which I do feel like was about time, to be honest, that she told them what had happened. So Dawn has the bright idea that Billy should come and live at Home Farm because it will be easier to plan their escape and everything like that if they're under the same roof as each other. Which I suppose is true to a point, and Joe's got his stag in Prague in a couple of days, so they're planning to kind of leave then. But honestly, I don't think this is going to work. They're going to get caught or something, like Joe's going to con on or catch on to it or something. It's just not going to work. Literally obsessed. Honestly, I love this scene so much of Lewis and Kev. Like, the fact that Kev didn't know how to ride a bike, but like he still tried to teach Lewis because it was like a dad thing to do, was so funny. and it was such an amazing bonding scene between them, and they're my favourite kind of scenes when you just see that they're actually bonding with each other, which was so cute. I also love that they were talking about Lewis and Vinny's wedding, and that Kev wants to set up a fund and help them, and that's just so sweet. Like, Kev is actually really trying. However, Ruby has offered Kev a job, and it's obviously not a good job. I don't think Kev's going to do it. Hopefully he'll stay strong. What I'm still confused about is as to why Kev ended up hurting Billy in the first place. But yeah, Ruby's offered him a job, and I think she's going to use the fact that he's hurt Billy to keep it quiet. So yeah. I mean, Mackenzie can see it a week away that Sarah and Charity are hiding something. Obviously, he thinks that Charity's done it on purpose and they're trying to make it self-defence, but obviously what they're really hiding is that Sarah was the one that did it and not Charity. Vanessa and Serena also get called in to give their witness statements. I feel like if Serena ends up keeping being pushed enough, that she might actually drop Vanessa in this and try and make out that it was Vanessa or something to save Charity and Sarah. Tim welcomes Sally home after having the wild night with Richie, and I loved Abby pulling Tim up in Roy's. That was so funny, and giving him the phone and being like, he's here, and it was Sally on the phone because they forgot to pick her up at the airport and everything. That was hilarious. And then I loved it when Sally got home. Tim and Sally are just so funny, they're brilliant. And of course now it's ended up with Richie actually staying with them for now. So yeah, we'll see what that brings. I am so happy that Ronnie told the Bailey boys about Debbie's assisted dying, because I really feel like Ronnie really needs the support right now, so it definitely was just a good idea to tell him. Gary is trying to work out what to do about the Sarah situation. He's trying to weigh it up in his head and work out what to do for the best, and he enlists the help of Adam. And basically Adam tells it straight that there really isn't a good way to do this. And obviously at the very end we see that Gary's at the police station. I feel like he's going to tell the police that he was the one that forced her not to phone, and he was the one that said it would be a good idea to lie about it. I think he's going to put a little bit more on himself than he probably should, but that's how I think he's going to play it. And obviously Bethany went to see Sarah. Sarah's got hurt in prison, but Bethany has also told Sarah of Kit's plans to scupper Gary, and obviously Sarah was not happy about that at all. So Gary has talked to the police about what he did for Sarah that night, but Kit is went to visit Sarah, and Kit and Maria are basically convinced that Gary and Sarah still love each other. I think they still love each other. And then it comes to like Kit and Sarah are visiting and they're having a chat, and Sarah's ended things with Kit. I'm like, that was such a stupid thing to do, because Kit has been helping you, and I'm actually annoyed at Sarah for this, because I'm like, Kit has actually been doing everything that he can to help get you out of this situation, and you're just going to end the relationship and finish things with him. Adam thinks that both of them is too much for Alia and she needs to make a choice, speed dial or the solicitors, and I actually agree. I do think it's a lot for her trying to juggle both. But basically she speaks to Yasmin and comes back and says that she's actually got a buyer who might be interested in buying speed dial, so it looks like she's going to get rid of speed dial. But I don't think Idris is going to like this, because obviously Idris wants speed dial, so yeah. This is literally just the beginning of this whole Richie situation. So basically, Sally wants rid of Richie, right? She doesn't want him sleeping on her sofa anymore, and Tim convinces him to go and give his wife another chance, or so Tim thinks. Tim realises that he's left his wallet in the car, and he's like, it's alright, he's left his wallet at the house. It's okay, I'll just go back and drop it off. So Tim goes back to drop it off at his house, and he's seen Richie with blood on his shirt, and I think it's Rachel, Richie's wife, on the floor. So yeah, what is going to happen next? That was some cliffhanger ending. I actually loved that. I am intrigued to see what's going to happen now with this. Especially because Tim and Sally aren't murderers. Like, Tim would not harm a fly, and neither would Sally. So like, Tim ending up being involved in this is just going to be, yeah, so good, because it's just something that he would never do. And I think that Richie might try and pin this on Tim. So we all know that Sarah broke up with Kit. Well, obviously Kit's been a proper misery guts. He is basically going about drinking and just feeling a bit sorry for himself, and he needs to kind of snap out of it. But somebody wants to see him, and he's had this voicemail message. Now, obviously, because we know that he's been covering for Sarah, I'm wondering if this is to do with work. and if work wants to see him about it because it would make sense. Gary and Maria have a bit of a heart-to-heart. They also have to tell the kids that Florida's off. Not going to lie, if you told me we were going to Florida and then told me it was off, I would be absolutely full-on raging. So definitely don't blame the kids that they're actually annoyed at it. But yeah, they do have a bit of a heart-to-heart in the pub, and I just think Maria's sick hearing the word sorry at this point, because I'm actually sick hearing that word coming out of Gary's mouth and all. So I definitely wouldn't blame her if she is. Well, Leanne seems dead chuffed with him, doesn't she? Because she seems to be getting everything she wanted, because obviously she wants her just to buy the restaurant, and he's managed to scare off that poor other buyer. So let's see if Idris is actually going to be the next owner of Speed Dial, because I'm actually thinking he is at this point. Well, poor Tim, he's just having a horrible time. So Richie is basically obviously been charged with the murder of his wife, as we kind of suspected was going to happen. I just feel bad that Tim has witnessed this. Well, he never witnessed the actual murder, but he's seen her on the floor, and that, like, he's basically been caught up in the middle of this, something horrible that he would never have wanted to see. Also, you've obviously got the likes of Tracy just absolutely spouting off some stupid rubbish in the pub, and honestly, Tim just walked away because I don't think he even had the energy to even fight with her. Sometimes Tim would put up a fight with Tracy and would be a bit narky back, but I just don't even think he had the energy to even put up a fight with her, to be honest. It's just Tracy being Tracy, innit? I'm glad that he's got Sally though. I am glad that he's got Sally, because Sally will be there for him, and she is being there for him, so I'm so glad he's got her, because he's obviously blaming himself, isn't he, that, like, this has happened. He's blaming himself that, like, oh, he told him to go back home, he told him to work it out, and now look what's happened. And yeah, it's just going to be a terrible time for Tim. I think Tim wants to believe that he's not guilty and he didn't do it, but the truth is he absolutely did it. Let's just be really did it. I know Tim wants to think the best of people. It's one of the things I love the most about him, but he needs to take the blinkers off in this situation, because Richie did come off, let's be real. So one of Nina's friends has a job that obviously Nina would be really good at. We always forget, like, how creative Nina actually is. And then Roy's like, you should totally do it. But the pride in Roy's face, honestly, them two, the fact that Roy just loves being her uncle, and he loves that girl more than anything in this world, and it's so cute. So I did feel like this would happen. Obviously, Tim and Sally have taken Lucy in, which was actually really sweet, and I feel like Nina kind of made Tim's mind up, because when they were talking, Tim was just thinking, like, look at the relationship that you and Roy have now, and I could have that with her. So yeah, like, I think that just made Tim's mind up, and it was really cute actually. I feel like Sally and Tim are perfect for her. I feel like they will definitely get her through this. As hard as it is, they will. I mean, Harry was a bit of a brat, and he ended up ruining Bethany's day, obviously, just because he didn't want to go to Little Big Shots all week. I mean, it doesn't revolve around you, Harry, I'm sorry to say it, but it doesn't. Sarah making friends with that other prisoner. I don't think that prisoner is as nice as she seems. I know that she was trying to be nice to Sarah and stuff, but I think there's more to this. I don't think that she's quite as nice as she seems. Well, Idris is trying everything to get a Speed Dial, and basically he gives Brian and his friends like free starters and stuff like that, and now Brian wants to hold his meetings there, and like Idris now has offered Alia 35 grand to be the owner and take over Speed Dial, and I think he's only done the starters and everything for Brian to basically get Alia to sell to him. Poor Lucy, the poor kid is really trying to adjust to her new life with him and Sally, and basically she ends up getting into a fight with Lily, and she scratches Jodie, which Jodie is absolutely thrilled about not. And Jodie annoyed me so much because she was being so nosy, being like, what happened? Why did she lose her mum? I'm like, don't be so nosy. Honestly, Jodie just gets on my nerves, and I know that's just for a lot of you guys too, but yeah, Lucy obviously is really struggling to adjust. It must be so hard. Also, she has said that she has seen it, and that she's actually sure that it was self-defence, like her mum was coming at her dad with a knife. So yeah, maybe Richie was self-defence. Who knows?